Hi, Professor Trediak. I hope your mom's recovering well after her surgery, and you guys are able to have a happy holidays together. I found this assignment a little bit challenging. I think it made me think that evaluating these types of reports will get easier over time, and with more experience, just like nutritional epidemiology, after reading multiple research studies, we just understood how to evaluate those a little bit better. But in response to some of the questions for the assignment, report layout seemed like it captured a lot of the components that we read about in our textbook, but was certainly not displayed in the same way as box 15.3 on page 398. Layout in general for the evaluation report followed more of a structure where started with an introduction that included some components of a abstract, but not a complete abstract in and of itself, going into a methodology section on data. And then what was a little bit different about this is it had multiple results sections, which covered results of the program, analysis of the program, instrumentation and procedures of the program, as well as a section on target audience, but all labeled under results, which honestly I found a little bit confusing. And then a discussion section and recommendations. So most of the components were covered. Some of the main ones that I missed really were program goals. I saw that there was a bit of a mission statement and it covered requirements, but specific goals and objectives to me were not clearly laid out, and as a result, not clearly addressed as a part of the evaluation for the objective of the program. There was discussion saying, the outcome and the impact the program had for people who had more access to food, but the discussion didn't clearly lay that out to me as compared to clear objectives offered initially. Best I can tell, the report is written primarily in active voice. Just looking up online and looking back at some of our readings, it seems like in general we want to try and have a passive voice, and then, for example, maybe go into active voice for the discussion section. But from what I could tell, most of this report was in the active voice. And intended audience also was a little bit gray area for me. It seems like the goal would be to write it to stakeholders, and I think this could be addressed to them, but didn't seem to strongly associate trying to demonstrate the success of this particular program, and seem more like sort of a points of interest discussion that didn't target results to a stakeholder group. And lastly, on data, primarily survey data that was collected in depth in short interviews. It talked about statistical analysis using a stata analysis software and a p-value of 0.05 used, but I didn't really see that in the results. Data primarily was presented in data tables, which I'd say for the most part conveyed the data well, although I was wishing there was some either graphs or different visual representations of the data. I think especially for understanding the impact of the program, before and after people participated, it would have been easier to look at a graph representing that. And for the most part, I think all the statistics were descriptive. In general, I'd say the report did okay as an evaluation report, but I think it could have been much stronger if it had a clearer focus with tied to objectives and then results for the stakeholders, and specifically addressed to stakeholders to convey the importance and success of the program or lack of success and what to do. The recommendations at the end were very helpful. And I think show what they can do for next time, but to me still lacked being tied to the initial impetus of the program and what the expected objectives should have been. Thank you.